One little child had gone with his brother to his grandmother's place. And grandmother said to both of the children in the morning, "Pray to God, go into the prayer room." They both went before Radha Krishna. And the little brother was praying, "Hey Radha Krishna, give me a teddy bear." The elder brother said, "Why are you praying so loudly? Are Radha Krishna deaf?" He said, "Radha Krishna are not deaf, but my grandmother is hard of hearing." O son of Kunti, even those devotees who faithfully worship other gods also worship me, but they do so by the wrong method. What does he mean by other gods? Anya Devata. This word Devata again has the limitation of semantics. It is used for Param Dev, for the Supreme Divine Personality. It is also used for the celestial beings. So we say in our Hindu pantheon, we have got 33 crore devata, 330 million devatas. These are not the supreme. They are celestial gods. Who are these celestial gods? They are performing administrative functions in the governance of God. So he has set up his administration. He believes in delegation that enables the souls to become responsible and qualified as well. So rather than do everything directly himself, he nominates eligible souls. They become the devatas to discharge various functions in the maintenance of this material world. So you hear of Vayu Dev, the god of wind, and Agni Dev, etc., etc. Now, because the word devata is used there as well, that is what leads to confusion. So it must be clarified that he is not referring to the Supreme. Other religions also become confused, and they say that, you people have got so many gods. But that's not the case. The Vedas are very clear. Ekameva dvitiyam Brahma. There is one Supreme. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. Ekam Santam Bahudha Kalpayanti. Eko hi Rudro na dvitiyaya tasthur. That one is all powerful. He is not limited to one form. We see him as possessing the ability to be formless and take on forms. And not just one, but many forms. So in one form, he is maintaining the world. In one, he is creating. In one, he is annihilating. In one, he is a king. Sri Ram, in one, he is engaging in loving pastimes as Krishna. These are all different forms of the same one. That is why in Shankaracharya's time, when Sanatan Dharma was divided up in the worship of many, and that is fine, but there was acrimony. You're worshipping Shiv, I'm worshipping Vishnu, I'm right, you are wrong. This all would go on. So Shankaracharya, to unite everyone, he created Panchadevopasana, keep the 5 devs. That's why you find even today in the Hindu households, people worshipping the 5 different forms of the same one God. That is Shakti, Surya, Ganesh, Shiv, and Narayan. So these are the supreme. They are not the devatas that Sri Krishna is referring to. These devatas, which he is talking about, are the celestials. Now, the celestials cannot bestow liberation because they are not liberated themselves. They can only bestow what they have, which is material powers, material boons. And those material boons, they get the power to bestow it from God. Like, for example, Indra, you worship him. They all have their systems of worship. You worship this way, to worship this Devi and that Deva. And they will bestow certain boons. But Sri Krishna says that what they bestow is by virtue of the power I give to them. One little child had gone with his brother to his grandmother's place. And grandmother said to both of the children in the morning, pray to God, go into the prayer room. They both went before Radha Krishna. And the little brother was praying, hey Radha Krishna, give me a teddy bear. The elder brother said, why are you praying so loudly? Are Radha Krishna deaf? He said, Radha Krishna are not deaf, but my grandmother is hard of hearing. I don't know if Radha Krishna will hear, but my grandmother needs to hear. She's the one who will fulfill it. So, Sri Krishna says that I am the one who gives them the ability to bestow the boons. One boy and girl, they had fallen in love. And the girl brought her fiancé home that he may meet his future father-in-law. So the girl's father was interviewing this boy and said, what do you do, young man? He said, I am a philosopher. The father said, that's all right, but how will you earn a living? He said, God will take care of it. So, do you have enough to complete your studies? He said, I am studying, God will take care of the rest. He then said, how will you provide for my daughter? He said, I am a philosopher, God will provide for both of us. The father-in-law said, you may go. The mother-in-law asked, what kind of a boy is he? So the father-in-law said, he's got no plans. He has got no kind of conception of how he is going to take care of anything. But the good news is he thinks I am God. God will provide for this. He thinks I am God. So Sri Krishna is saying out here that look, you are worshipping these celestials. And the celestials are all subservient to the Supreme. Now, if you are getting from them various boons and then feeling so much of gratitude, remember the source of those boons, Arjun, is me itself. Because in the previous verse, he said, Ananya Bhakti, you worship me exclusively. Then your heart will get purified. So Ananya Bhakti means na anya, no other. The love of your heart must be undivided, which means your attachment should not be in anything tamasic, tambaku, etc. Anything rajasic, the objects of the senses, anything sattvic, any object or personality. Some people get attached to just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. That is also an attachment. Shankaracharya says, Lokavasanaya janto shastra vasanaya picha Dehavasanaya jnanam yathavan naiva jayate. If you have Dehavasana of your body, Lokavasana for prestige, or Shastra Vasana, you will not get true knowledge. So Shastra Vasana, now this is a sattvic attachment, or sattvic personalities. This includes the celestials. So if you wish to be exclusive, you will have to remove attachment to all of these. In the previous verse, Sri Krishna insisted, if you want me to maintain your Yogakshem, Arjun, you become exclusive. Otherwise, I will take care of you, but through the law of karma. As you do, so you shall reap. And when you become exclusive, I will intervene by my grace and take complete care of you. Then now he is explaining further, exclusive means that you should not worship the celestials either. The one. Yatha taror moola nishechanena tripyanti tat skandha bhujopashakha प्राणोपहाराच्च यथेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वार्हणमच्युतेज्य. In the Bhagavad, Vyas writes, if you wish all parts of a tree to be nourished, and this is important to understand philosophically, you don't need to go watering every leaf. You simply water the root. It will reach all the branches, twigs, leaves, flowers, fruits. Instead, if you water every leaf but neglect the roots, the tree will dry up. Likewise, you worship all the Dev, Danav, Manav, but neglect the source of it all, which is God. Then you have not done what is necessary to free yourself from the cycle of life and death, because your heart is still worldly. So remember, Kabir ji says, Ab aaye is ek mein dal patte phal phool. Kabira piche kya raha, pakad liya jab mool. Archite deva deveshe shanka chakra gada dhare. Archita sarva devasyuryatah sarvagato harihi. This verse says, if you have worshipped that Mahavishnu who is holding in his four arms the Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, you have worshipped all the Devatas. Because your worship is distributed to all of creation, you have taken care of the source of creation. You just pay your tax in one place, the income tax. The government divides it amongst all the departments. And you take care of your duty towards God. It takes care of everything. He will explain this further in the next verse.